begun.
Zed, all right. So they're keeping in-house strategies, unsure of exactly what's been going on here, but making sure that Jensen doesn't have that Zed, meaning they may be first picking something a little cheeky here. I'm unsure. I don't expect that, but the Zed ban does kind of stick out like a sore thumb.
Quite interesting. We did see these Ziggs come through yesterday. I believe 4 Wild Turtle in a game or within that series, so maybe they're thinking a little AD mid if Sneaky were to bring that out for some more switch up. High speculation though. Rakan and Kennen being banned out. Galio, Zach, a lot of the initiation from Cloud9 sign being taken away from P1.
Yeah, maybe an Elise ban getting thrown in here too from Cloud9. Those are kind of becoming the most common bans on red side is Zach, Galio, and Elise as those top 2 junglers and kind of taking the cream of the crop away. See what else they want to ban there. Caitlyn, make sure it's not first picked.
I feel like after seeing the Galio mid for Golden Glue yesterday, something Froggen could definitely put to work as well. This champion pool, Elise will be the first pickup. Grig getting a little priority here to start things off. As we saw Caitlyn being that last ban was Cloud9, answer, and start with.
Yeah, I was talking about the Elise being a very common ban on red side, and it's very powerful in the jungle.
Yeah.
So they'll pick it up there, give them some flexibility. For Cloud9, though, Rakan being banned away from Smoothie, so I doubt the Desire Rakan combo will come out. Possibility of maybe an Ashe here because the Caitlyn was banned away. The Lee Sin for contracts. Does play a mean Lee Sin. Back when he was a rookie, it was one of the champions that everybody, when I would talk about or ask them about contracts, they were like, yeah, his Lee Sin is his best champion, and then everything else was kind of below that. But then he definitely shored up those weaknesses and made himself a very well-rounded player.
Yeah, they say grab it. Don't want contracts to be pinched at all. It becomes their first, second. Varus is going to come in. These AD carries have played about 4 or 5 each, so even if they are pinched, they should have an all right time in that bot lane.
Yeah, I was expecting the Ashe to come through for Cloud9 because I expect it for Echo Fox because Keith has been pretty much playing that champion for a very long time, almost exclusively. Did change though the other day, was put on things like Xayah and Lucian, and now he's going to be on Xayah once again here, so no longer on that Ashe duty for Keith.
Quick lock in.
Yeah, it does look like they ended up going for the LeBlanc pick here for Froggen. It's great for his playstyle and how he kind of integrates into Echo Fox here, or I guess the team integrates around him. This is normally how they play, is he'll take teleport on LeBlanc, he'll split push and try to draw people away and try to 1v1, and kind of becomes Froggen in a 1-3-1 versus whoever he's up against. And if they give him resources early, it's kind of an unstoppable split push.
It's going to be tough. Jensen's going to try to lock him down with Cassiopeia in the mid lane. They lock that in real quick after seeing the 1-2 final pick, or I should say 2-3 of Echo Fox. And the top laners are getting a little bit of love here. Jarvan, Renekton being taken out, trying to think back to the pools that Impact could be able to play. That's just about everything you've seen up there.
Yeah, I expect a Shen ban from Echo Fox. I don't want to see Impact on Shen if you are an Echo Fox fan, because it gives him a way to answer that top lane. It makes it so that if you're ever in a split push against Froggen, then there is a way to answer that back. And the Fiora ban there kind of tells you a little bit about how they don't want to go up against carries. They want Impact to have a neutral lane in that top lane against Looper.
Also allowing him to split, always been very, very good at that wave management, being able to just get a bit of a lead, spike earlier than his top lane opponent, and start to take over the game from the top lane. The Shen does get banned out. They realize the threat that Impact brings on that. Here we are in the second pick phase.
Support and top laner are the two that Cloud9 need to pick here. The question is, do they pick their bottom lane and go for something like a Zyra and try to win that lane, or do they go for the top lane? And it seems like Impact, just throwing himself out there. We are seeing a lot more support last picks and seeing mid laners third pick now. It's becoming very common ever since the support meta has kind of shifted over to things that are lower range. So if they pick something like, you can see Gates, Sejuani, etc., you can pick something a little bit more powerful into that for the laning phase to keep it down, or go for your own playmaking and really see what the enemy has.
Looper's going to take some range into this matchup.
It's kind of the one that's left right now in terms of the top laners that can bully people out. Rumble would be another thing, but that doesn't give you a split push threat, and Echo Fox really want to go for a 1-3-1 here. And will it be the Sejuani?
Do it again.
It is.
Played it yesterday.
It's a really interesting pick. Like, I'm a Sejuani enthusiast myself, but as support, it does have incredibly high mana costs. but it's really good if you have a lot of melees on your team, and there aren't really that many on Echo Fox. You have the Spider form, and then you also have the Hammer form, as well as Sejuani herself. It's a good pick tool from a very long range. Her engage range is very good, but it really just comes down to, can you just get off the ground in the laning phase? And if she's up against the Thresh, there is a possibility that he's able to do that with those extra resistances he has early.
So Froggen can get himself into these side lanes as well. Gate able to hold off or start some fights if they get an upper hand onto C9. Cloud9 with a pretty well-rounded composition. If they can get out of laning phase, they will be able to just kind of walk all over the map.
Exactly. Cloud9 looking for more 5v5s and picks with their bottom lane, trying to utilize the CC they have there. But Echo Fox are really just looking for split push. Grig needs to be active early, and then they can make some picks as well. But I really want to see what Keith looks like on this Xayah, because he played it the other day. It was okay, but it wasn't anything really overwhelming. He went 0-0-3 on it, and it was basically just stay alive, have a way to disengage, and if you get dove on, you can avoid whatever CC is coming your way using the Feather Storm.
Also putting Gate on a lot more crowd control. Maybe able to turn away from the fight or head to the fight and still give Keith a little bit of that CC if he needs to from a distance. We are going to be heading into game. Hashtag Fox win, hashtag C9 win. As a 2-1 Echo Fox starting off the split heads up against a 1-2 Cloud9. As we said, Cloud9 yesterday playing quite clean. Seems like they have a little bit of the organization and the synergy back online.
Exactly. Both teams kind of getting their act together. Echo Fox coming in strong at the beginning of the split. But right now, you think back to the previous split, there were some memes at the beginning. Odd week, even week Echo Fox. They went 2-0 last week. They're currently 0-1 this week. Is it the start of that all over again? Is Echo Fox going to have another week where they go 0-2 right after a 2-0?
See if Grig can stave that off.
And it's really interesting that they're running Grig. It's actually incredibly surprising. I was looking at Acadian stats. Has won every game so far, 4-0 in game record, 75% kill participation for First Bloods. So he's once again on top of that. He's only missed out on one of those games. And so running Grig was kind of perplexing. I was trying to understand exactly what he brings to the table. And it does seem like they're just giving him a little more experience here. There's like almost no reason that you would be like, okay, Acadian is, you know, worse than this guy, or this guy is better than Acadian, etc. But we're kind of trying to figure it out as it goes.
It's actually in cooperation, right? Acadian kind of saying, yeah, I'm totally down with this choice. I am also on board. And Grig can play against CLG, Grig can play against Cloud9. And that's pretty good games to have.
I'm unsure if that's actually how it went.
Right.
But still, it doesn't look like there was any animosity or anything. But this team is, you know, entertaining the idea of having that 10-man roster be something they rotate through. Didn't get that last auto off there.
So close.
This is becoming such a standard ward to get on Raptors, because it's the best camp to start for junglers, that we've seen some teams start a sweeper just to kill it, they back, and then they go ahead and they place the ward. And that's why we're seeing the ward come down a little bit later now, because people in like scrims, etc., had been starting sweeper, they went for it, and then they would back, and then they'd have time to get back to lane in time. Looper doesn't get any of those, so Contracts actually picks up all of them.
One to Impact. Nice guy.
Because Impact picks up one, he will actually hit level 2 via 6 creeps instead of 7, so he'll hit it off the first wave.
But what is the advantage?
He can actually push it.
Well, he gets 3. They're evened up on casters now. So it looks like they'll actually just go even all together in that situation. Smoothie going a bit aggressive with Gate here to start. They want Sneaky just to get him down about 300 HP, and they win that trade. We'll see if Fox continues this aggression. Level 2 is going to be pretty big now. I love level 2 so much more than, as we said before, with the support he supports. A shield, now it's the engage.
Smoothie walking up. And the level 2 came out a little bit later because Gate ended up getting it sooner. Because Gate actually seems to have gotten to lane a little bit earlier, but hold on, Grig on the bottom side, no blue buff, no top side of his jungle. They're trying to engage now.
Said he needed to be active.
Got stunned.
The stun is in, the cocoon is just flashed. Smoothie gets the heal as well. They go for the kill. Smoothie,
Grig's
one more
turret.
shot. Grig's under turret. The repel was used to get in. And he's going to be taken down on the way out.
That was just a little slow there from Grig. What happened was he went for the cocoon after the Sejuani E, but it's a very short stun. 1 second, here comes Contracts though, trying to turn this around. Sneaky forward.
Contracts hot on the tail of this. Sneaky rather, able to pick up Keith by himself, and now Contracts is going to come to the party. Hits the Q, waits for the resonating strike until it's an auto ender onto Gate.
And this jungle route has actually been so interesting. They knew that Contract started on the top side so that he would come to the bottom side by that time and possibly have double buffs. But Grig comes around here, and as soon as they see him, Contracts will start pathing towards this area. But that's done right there. Went for the flash cocoon, wasn't right in time, and Smoothie gets the flash off. And the great hook there on Grig, who just came down from the rappel. And Smoothie on the roam already, trying to make a play on the top side on Looper.
What is this? A level 4 Looper had the lead in the lane.
Trying to kill Impact.
Takes the aggression, flashes out!
Oh!
He gets the E hit right as Impact leaves range, gets his flash, blows his own, but they have teleport to get back. And Smoothie, yeah, in the top lane, 3 minutes in.
Yeah, looks like Sneaky actually went for a back around that time as well, so he ends up not having to like 2v1 in the bottom side. Jensen, though, has Froggen on him. And a lot of damage coming through.
These guys are playing neck and neck as well, just about 200 health to each of them.
Grig might be, he's just hanging off on the left side there. Went for a ward on the Raptor camp as it'll spawn 4 minutes and 20 some odd seconds. Contract's just going on gate. And this really in the top side of the map, Impact lost out on some of that CS because there was a big wave by his turret, but they both blew teleport to get back up there. And Contract's looking for Froggen, but not going to find it. So yeah, just everybody being very active. And I love seeing supports go for a move like that where they end up top, level 2, or after their first back, because it is so unexpected. If you can catch somebody like that, you get their summoner spells, you possibly get a kill, and you tilt a different side of the map than you are currently playing on for most of the laning phase. I just love those plays.
I'm waiting here for the flash from Froggen if he plays it to go in onto Jensen, because he has the upper hand after that. It's just, does he want it that bad? Gets a quick sigil onto Jensen and just backs out on this.
Froggen has teleport, so I expect him to back, teleport after shoving the wave. And you can see Contracts are just hanging out there just in case. He doesn't have control of the mid lane either, and Smoothie's just clearing out some wards himself. As his bottom lane is doing a pretty good job pushing up. And look at that, right on the TP point.
Why not?
Yeah, just making sure the TP isn't as worth, so he has to spend some mana and some of his HP, take some damage there.
I mean, that would have been the hit. Froggen would not have hesitated to kill Jensen if Contracts wasn't there. Smoothie and Sneaky, I like this, guarding that pink ward on the bot side. It's always, I feel, a little harder to be on that side of the river and place your pink ward because they're always pushing right to the river side. If you have the tri-brush, then it just hangs out all day.
Yeah, look at this. Impact, even though he spotted Grig, he's not really playing too much differently than he was just a moment ago, and he's waiting for Contracts to get up here. So Grig really isn't that much wiser about what's about to happen.
Whoa.
Now he is.
Airborne, knocked up. Grig's going to look for the Krugs, possibly, but now that he has Looper, they go right back down. And it looks like Looper stays in his long range for him. If he went to Hammer, they would have really been going all in, but they play it safe.
Yeah, does actually put Impact a little bit behind in CS than he was before, and in experience. So you can see Looper already level 6. Impact still struggling a bit to pick up those levels in that top lane.
Yeah.
See what he's able to do, though. Gragas quite strong with the triple Dorans when he gets those.
Grig not hesitating as well. A little trouble in the bot lane. Still trying to activate things towards the top. Cloud9 making sure they keep this lead on the bot side. Sneaky 2-0-1 so far. Happily farming this lane up with the advantage. No lead in CS just yet. They might be able to hit some kill potential with the gold spikes they get.
This will be interesting because Grig will have a small window here where his red buff is coming up, and he knows that the red buff of Contracts is coming up, so you expect Contracts to be topside jungle and not bottom side. So we'll see if Grig tries to make a play on the bottom during that small window.
They have the moment, bot lane to breathe, get these wards out. If they can get that vision ward, it's going to be huge. C9 knows, however, it's about to be secured with that vision. So play back down bot from Smoothie here. Things slowing down after Contracts and Gig really being the catalyst to lighten stuff on fire at the beginning of this game. 6 kills to even us up almost a kill a minute, and then almost nothing. Everybody feeling like that was a bit too much.
Yeah, it's kind of like calm it down. Let's get that vision. Wait for summoner spells as well. You even see Froggen was playing a little bit less aggressive after the initial fight.
Doesn't change.
It extends to Keith as well, but Smoothie doesn't have vision of the bush, so can't go for the hook. Try to follow it up, and Impact can knock Looper back.
Ooh,
oh.
They've been getting that lane every so often. They finally get Looper to go down again. 1 and 2 for him in 20 seconds back to lane.
Yeah, picking on Looper a little bit in that top lane. They've sent 2 different people up there to try and mess with him. Smoothie first, now Contracts, and he didn't have Flash up just yet, whereas Impact had his back due to the fact that he takes the reduced summoner spell cooldown in his masteries.
Yep. Another roam from Smoothie towards the mid lane. C9 always trying to make multiple things happen across lanes at the same time.
Yeah, and I do want to talk about that summoner spell mastery insight, because Jace, 300-second cooldown Flash. Impact has the 255 one. So there's that small window where Impact's like, my Flash literally just came back up. His is not up yet. You can even see it's about to come up. Literally comes up right there. And then he goes for it, knowing that there's no Flash or possibility that he can flash the explosive cast. So that's really well played by Impact to know that timing and to call Contracts up. We talked about communication and how C9 were saying that even just having Impact back in the rotation, more even in his own. So crediting him a lot for that.
Dark passage over, the hail of arrows will miss, so there's no follow-up, but the wards placed now in the side of Fox's red side jungle.
Yeah, it's
a problem.
Super surprising as well, because you just had Contracts on the top side of the jungle. That means that normally you're able to ward up no side, because you don't know where the enemy jungler is. If they saw Grig somewhere, you'd be able to infer that information, but hold on.
Well, they see him.
They see him now.
They see him now.
Sure.
What are they going to do, though?
They're gonna bring
3v1 Impact. He said, welcome back, Impact. He goes down once again.
I mean, they're just kind of evening it up. 2 people had visited the top lane previously, 1 at a time. Now they're going to bring 2 people of their own to the top side. I actually feel like you rush this harder with the Jace and Elise. They have those attack speed steroids. They might get it on the top side just a little bit faster.
It is going to be close.
It's going to be very close, but I feel like Fox has this.
Knocked down for Fox. First turret for them. Traded by C9, so the map still moves in the same way. Probably have the AD carries and everyone head towards mid. The top laners will find a place. They'll find a place.
Yeah, that's really interesting from Impact, because they didn't see, or they saw that Froggen left the lane, but also that whole bottom side jungle was warded completely, right? We were talking about it right beforehand. If the bottom side of the jungle is warded, you infer Grig has to be on his top side or our top side. So the top side of the map should play safer, and Impact just seems like a little bit of rust there. So you normally know him as the guy that's so hard to exploit, so hard to get into.
He'd be already backing off, making sure that the situation was not going to happen. Grig, however, there was a few times he has tried that. Now comes up with a successful kill. A pretty big assist across the rest of the team. They will now go for Rift Herald, which gives them a chance to push down another turret.
They might check this. We'll see. Impact actually backing in the bush, and Smoothie coming up now.
Looks like Impact's going to back so he can gather bot lane off of what Froggen is doing. But yeah, they kind of just fizzled out on Impact roaming top there.
And now Impact will be the person who matches in that bottom side up against Froggen, who's just kind of avoiding that mid lane now. They'll put their bottom lane in the mid lane from Echo Fox. And that went over to Grig as well, who also did not take a Tracker's Knife. He's going the Meteos route and has the challenging smite, has the Skirmisher Saber, so looking for some dueling potential.
Wants the right to fight.
I like it.
So Impact didn't grab too much of the minions here, but now he will be able to help contain the wave against Froggen.
Yeah, Froggen deviating a little bit in the build slightly, went for the Hextech Revolver for the auto attack and for the burst damage potential, but not going for the Bilgewater Cutlass immediately afterwards, instead going for some more AP and CDR. Kind of delays his ability to have those split pushes where you're just healing right back up and sustaining, but it does make you a little bit more powerful than a Bilgewater Cutlass would, or a Vamp Scepter at this point, considering the cost of the Fiendish Codex.
Recurve bow already on Sneaky, able to put out some good attack speed with those Berserker Greaves.
Yeah, C9.
Take down mid.
C9 just a better macro play there.
Yep.
Shoving out top with multiple members, and then they go towards mid with 4.
I mean, they almost
Looper has to shove out the top.
No pressure. Look at the vision that scatters all the way from the top to bottom, right across mid. Each shoulder is warded if they get into a spot where there could be fog of ward.
Yeah, and I really like the top to mid warding when you're trying to go between those 2 turrets. Cloud9 set it up appropriately with their wards, and then the top turret's actually very close to going down as well. So C9 can systematically kind of knock down the bottom turret like they did, go mid, knock down that one, go top, and then Infernal Drake may be up by the time that's actually going to be around. So by the time you get the top turret, you'll be able to set up, reset your wards on the bottom side of the map, and get your second Infernal of the game.
Impact, look out. He reads it a little earlier this time. It might be his life as well.
Making sure.
Pours one out for the homies. That's all. Don't worry about it. That's going to take down the bottom turret. Fox coming up big with that. But yeah, C9 keeps Impact alive on this one with a few calls. They get to go ahead and trade on the other side.
And this is the tempo play here. C9 will shove out the top wave with Sneaky. They're going to continue to push on the bottom side with Echo Fox. And now Froggen will back, and we'll see if Froggen tries to stop a push on the top side. So he's going to see if Sneaky tries to get greedy and push into that turret, which he should not, because Looper's now coming up there. Perfect. And then he has to catch that minion wave. Yeah, pretty much overall, I would say so far not too many mistakes from both teams. I would say they're actually playing it quite well, except for the fact that Echo Fox out-rotated on the top side and not keeping too much jungle pressure in terms of their own wards.
At least taking what they have when they have the chance.
Yeah, and I would say that Impact, you can see a little bit of the rust of him getting used to getting 3 or 4-man tanked ahead.
It was quick.
Yeah.
It's like touch the burner, don't touch it.
It's a fast learner.
Yep, there you go. There was a ping. There was an assist ping on the red. I think it was just alert for Cloud9 to say this is up. There will be focus for Fox on the bottom side of the map, and you can see everybody start to hover that way.
Yeah, there are 5 control wards down for Cloud9 all across the map. Everybody has one down. Like, they are definitely keeping that vision line in their favor and kind of choking out Echo Fox to the point where Echo Fox now need to group up like they are as 4 or 5, and that's how they clear vision. It's walk up, make sure nobody gets picked by something like Sneaky's ultimate or a Thresh hook, and be very wary of those things. Wary. It's words.
It's always a fun one. You say it once and you're like, nope, that was the wrong one. It's good to see that C9 is pushing these up, but also playing the forward pink wards, because when you place those, usually the team sees it, they clear it, and then your pink ward is needed to be placed defensively.
I like this from Echo Fox as well. Grig went to the top side of the map, which they had control of. He's going to look for a tempo play on this turret.
Turret torpedo!
And they just want this turret. Just focus the turret down. But they're actually getting collapsed on here, so they don't want it.
Triple roam. The only one here is not here is Sneaky, and Jensen will stay mid. Looks like they're able to hold that off for now. Still good pressure on the turret. Looper 135 to 98 against Impact. So if they do even match up, or Froggen goes up there to match up that turret, it's probably going to fall down.
Yeah, Froggen actually took a back, or went for the minion wave in mid, and Jensen got priority over him. So that's why they had to really abandon that top lane wave and that Rift Herald. Is Froggen kind of got pushed in, and the inside track went to Jensen.
It's interesting. You see something happening in the top lane, little things in the other lanes that definitely affect it.
Oh yeah, it's one of those things where if you ever play like any organized play, you're like, can you come help me in the jungle? And it's like, nah, I can't. It's like, what are you doing? Being so greedy farming waves? Come help. But then if you're in that person's shoes, you're like, oh yeah, it really sucks to give up this wave.
Exactly. Be like, come gank with me, but there's a cannon wave at the turret.
Exactly. And you lose like 300 gold from going, as opposed to, you know, they guaranteed. Look at this. Froggen TPing bot just to pick up the farm. Contract's actually going in.
Oh, yeah, way over the wall. Double kick on Gate and Greg. Can he finish it up here? Very low.
Froggen's in.
The fight baited in. Gets the sigil onto Contracts before he blast cones over the wall, and Contracts going a little farther than his team can follow.
That blast cone also cost Jensen his flash as we're looking for an Infernal Drake to come up here. So that's big.
Good play by Impact. Still has mechanics. Gets Looper caught under the turret as he gets a little too close for comfort.
Yeah, it's kind of the risk you have to take as the pushing Jace is that you're going to get body slammed and then ultied into the turret. And Jaces actually have adapted their build to the Blade of the Rune King first from going for Yomus, etc. So he does have lifesteal and a way to sustain himself here. And yeah, Echo Fox, because the fact they picked off Contracts and that Jensen doesn't have flash, it'll be easy pickings in terms of kills. Just looking for this pick up. Does go over to Grig.
Froggen with that early Banshee's Veil as well. Makes such a nuisance for Smoothie. For Sneaky, even started Chain of Corruption because that LeBlanc's going to be in your face.
And it's really interesting because this Banshee's Veil became like an item that when it shifted over to these assassins or these mages, I really saw it be potent on things like Ahri, LeBlanc, Echo, champions that were already very hard to catch or lock down. So if like somebody like an Elise wants to throw a CC or Varus wants to throw an R at them, you now have to throw a spell first after they W in. And we see it all the time where Elise in the last few days have wanted to kick back somebody with a Banshee's Veil. You can't land the Q. You have to like ward hop to them, E, and then you have to flash to the other side or Q and lock them up. So it's very difficult, and it really kind of, you have to play around it.
You don't have to make the kick.
Exactly. It's a game of seconds, right? And if Banshee's Veil is buying you 1 second, then it's a definitely worth item at that case.
1 second. High value in League of Legends.
Very high.
Very high value.
That's why Moby boots are incredibly valuable as well.
Zanya's.
Yep.
Second half.
More.
Invest. Gold quite even here throughout this game. Cloud9, though, looking like they have what it takes to take the next turret down very quick. Fox prepping turrets. They have that top one, so if there's a big fight, they could be all the way into the base. C9 putting themselves here on the front doorstep, and we'll see if they can drop that next objective.
And I like that Froggen augmented the build and went for the Banshee's Veil first, and then went for the completion of the Hextech Gunblade, because we buffed the magic resistance on the Banshee's Veil, but it costs more, so getting it out of the way early is good. And who's he going to be up against in a split push? He's either up against Impact, who's primarily magic damage, or he's up against Jensen. Or he's up against Sneaky and Smoothie, who Banshee's Veil is definitely going to help him there.
Banshee's Flash. So a little bit of help. Still a very slippery magician at escaping that LeBlanc.
But he's still pulling 2 people to the top side of the map, which gives them numbers advantage in mid, and that's a turret they have not knocked down just yet. So Froggen is going to try to split up the map and really just pull C9 apart. Oh man. Almost getting sneaky there. He's lucky he had Smoothie around, and that's why 2 people need to be there to answer Froggen, who has the potential to take over this game, in all honesty. Froggen, I've been looking at his damage numbers, highest in the league right now in damage per minute. His damage share is insane. He's averaging like 42% of his team's damage. He's being just an absolute monster. And when he gets resources and plays a split pusher, it's pretty disgusting. And even for like context, they went up against CLG, and people are like, oh no, now Echo Fox are 2-1 instead of 2-0 and like undefeated. They took CLG to 3 games, and those games actually went pretty long in terms of how back and forth they were. And this is them up against C9, and they have a slight gold lead. Even Drake's at the moment. The Infernals are popping up, and really, if Froggen can get online and get to that point where he's got that almost unanswerable split push, then it becomes pretty ridiculous. But you do have to keep in mind C9, they want that death ball 5v5. They want to have that team fight where Jensen can show up or Impact.
1, 2, 3. Going to be Smoothie rooted. That's a bit of the engage for their 4-person squad in the mid lane here. Now it's not actually a 4-person squad. It's only a 2-person squad. It's still a contract gets there.
Yeah, but right now, pushing bottom side, Root comes in.
Oh, Gate way too close. The Chain of Corruption into the hook. It is going to be an ult, actually 2 ults for C9, so could be worth in the end here. Gate only having the bullet flash, still has his ult.
Impact though. Looking for something because Contracts was in the area, but then Looper respected that. And backs off, where the Siege now just keeps going back and forth. That's what Echo Fox are trying to do, pull them apart. We talked about Echo Fox and Macro Play looking a little bit better this split so far. If they're able to hold up against Cloud9, that definitely bodes very well for them.
And the tides have turned in vision, too. As soon as Echo Fox could get that vision across the river, they have at least 4 wards just behind. I think there was one under Impact that he may have cleared, but very, very good for them to be up in this spot and take a fight if they actually need to. But it also gives them the chance to back up for Looper and create that split pressure against this Impact strategy.
Yeah, Looper currently up about 1,200 gold, and then Sneaky equalizing that with about 1,000 up over Keith. Otherwise, it's pretty even within 200 or 100 on everybody else.
The frustration is now they start getting 1-3-1. As Jensen can leave the lane, Sneaky can piercing arrow these waves, and they don't need everybody to guard mid.
Yeah, 1-3-1 is incredibly powerful, and it's funny because it's interesting how powerful it is up against certain compositions that want to group as 5, right? It's very strong against 5-man death balls because they have to try and engage on your 3-man unit, or find a way to get somebody out of the split push, because even if you're engaging on one flank, the other 2 lanes are going to push in and you'll lose more objectives overall, even if you get kills. So you have to have a one fell swoop kind of win a team fight to have that 5-man composition work out. C9's kind of pick-oriented with their bottom lane, but really Jensen, the Cassiopeia is not so much of a forward pressure type carry. It's more of a kite backwards type one. So they would rely on Impact, who's currently busy answering whichever split pusher comes near him.
Yeah, he's got his work cut out for him in this game. Whatever lane needs the cleanup so far, looks like that's going to be bot once again, as Looper is relentless in that push. Froggen goes ahead and takes the top side, and Fox in their own right, if they can get into a good position, while they want to siege, They could create a funny little 1-3-1 if they're in the right spot against C9. You just have to be very careful.
Exactly. You want to create that 1-3-1. Caught on to Keith.
Oh, here comes the teleport in as well. That's going to be Impact right in the middle of Fox's team as they disperse, and they are going to be able to take out Greek immediately as he comes back to the fight.
Yeah, like I was saying, you really just want to have that engage, that one quick pick, and that's what the bottom lane's for. Impact going in. Keith gets his flash away, though.
Ultimate. Gate, we've seen him get caught. It's going to take a while to take the Sejuani down. This could be good for Fox to set something up, pick a backline member off. Jensen's now in a bad spot as he's the caboose to the train, but there is enough crowd control to take down the beast that is Gate on Sejuani, and now it looks like Cloud9's able to clean up resources on the way out.
Yeah, it'll be a mid push here from Echo Fox. Grig down, but not down for long enough to the point that you would really want to do a Baron at this point in the game. And Froggen playing with fire, but he can do it because he has Banshee's Veil.
Those kind of things, well, they're probably not going to help at the moment, would stop bigger pushes later in the game as you get up to the Nexus the inhibitor turrets. You get the 80 carry that low, they don't want to get too close.
Yeah, and they're buying time. They keep dealing damage to Sneaky. They keep pushing up the mid wave. The Infernal Drake is up, and Jace is actually pinching in here. It would be a 4v5 in favor of Cloud9, but if the poke comes through, Grig is in and doesn't get it.
Doesn't get it, gets kicked back in. The repel was on the inside. Grig actually just came back up from going down in that mid fight, so finds himself respawning once again.
It's one of the fastest back-to-back deaths I've ever seen in competitive play, where he just runs right back up.
You really want to get to the store, that's how you do it.
Yeah, I mean, maybe he had an opportunity there, because one of the last numbers that he saw when he jumped in was 1,200.
Yeah, see it again.
He does have vision with that ward up in front. Repels up, 1,200. 1161 is the last number that you see on it. So was not expecting that amount of damage with the same smite, which does 720.
Also tough. You're going against the resonating strike.
Exactly.
And the smite.
And the resonating strike plus the smite did enough for him, plus whatever else was kind of mixed in there. That's 2 Infernal Drakes, though, over to Cloud9. And more kills, though, over to Sneaky. Sneaky currently 2,000 gold up right now on this Varus, 5-0-1, and he has the QSS now, so he's in a pretty good spot to get out of things like Chains, Coons, Sejuani ultimates. I'm trying to kind of snap back there at Froggen.
Chain of corruption.
It was a good chain of corruption as well, because he got the piercing arrow through Froggen first to get rid of the Banshee's Veil, but still have the distortion.
The double, triple, quadruple flash. Get out of every situation necessary. So with this, it also means Froggen and the rest of the team have to remember, be safe, I'm roaming, I'm trying to get these hits off to get somebody down 15, 20% HP. Try not to take too many fights, they'll get us into trouble. Looper and Impact going at a head-to-head here. The safety coming in from Contracts, that could be enough. The kick doesn't connect for Contracts. He's going to be able to get the crippling strike in. Going for the attacks. Looper knows the damage, but does he have the output? There's the kill from Looper in a 2v1, and Froggen cleans up the rest of it.
Looper, we've been waiting for this guy to show up here.
Oh my word.
That was dirty. He's 70 CS up over Impact now. Doesn't die there, and outplays 2 people and opens up the bottom side of the map. That's going to be that turret as well.
What a play. That wasn't even a you take it, I'll leave the kill for you play. Looper was on the edge of death the entire time, and that was a make or break play. We've been waiting to happen in the side lane in this game for a while.
Yeah, Looper giving us a throwback to Season 4. He's like, remember what happened then, Impact? Season 3 World Champion, replaced by the Season 4 World Champion. Woo! No mathematician, but one of those seems like a higher number than the other.
Y2 minus Y1? What? What is it? The formula? All right, they're going up to get vision on Baron now with a huge play. They weren't able to get the inhibitor, but it's open. That's the threat.
Rushing it,
Teleport
there.
here. Jensen can throw down the miasma, stop him with the petrifying, but I don't think he's going to have time to get in.
He's going to have to try a steal here or an ultimate. They're not going to get this in time.
Smoothie and the rest of the team can give him a lantern to get out if he goes for something crazy. Throws down the ult. The hook is going to go on now to Heath. He gets out with feathers, but it's not going to be enough. And Sneaky's moving up to the top of the fight now. 38 seconds onto him. 4 seconds back, just on the edge of Impact as they get out. And C9 trying to stop it, but Fox comes up with Baron and bot lane.
Will they come up with Baron? Bot lane tier 2. Bot lane, inhibitor turret, and now this mid lane's actually going to take a beating as well, and Froggen will probably get this on top of it, so. There it goes. Echo Fox with a big power play.
Oh, that LeBlanc just turned into a boar. Don't want that. Let's see what happens here again in the bot side for Looper.
Yeah, not into the turret, and Impact already has his ultimate down, and then Looper has the red buff, so he has that extra damage. The kick comes through. Looks like the Sonic Wave did not land on Looper there. The minion right in front of him, saving his life. And just barely Impact, not able to come up there with the kill, and then another Sonic Wave not able to connect.
That gate placement, a fast, straight Jace gate placement is very hard to do. Awesome job there. Kept his speed, kept the shock blast. Man, beautifully played.
Look at that. Since the history of Echo Fox being an organization, they are 1-10 against Cloud9. Cloud9 has just had their number, mostly in the late game. Echo Fox, you think back, good early game team, currently in the NALCS at gold at 15 minutes. Echo Fox are #1. Echo Fox are the #1 early game team right now, followed by Envy. We're having a repeat of last split. They average up 1,500 gold at 15 minutes. So Echo Fox still have that early game advantage, but it's Cloud9 historically that have that late game shot calling that beats them. And that's what Echo Fox have been working on. That's why then they came in, they hadn't replaced any of their members, brought the sub squad on, brought Grig in for this game, and we can see the communication and the way that they're playing the map seems to be a little bit more methodical.
What was before yesterday? Yeah, it was the P1 game. Whoop! As I go to say that, Grig goes down once again. He gets himself a little too far into the fight. I don't think they'll kill Gate here.
Get his flash, though, for nothing. Impact, though, getting bullied by Looper. Looper with the Mortal Reminder and the full armor penetration here says, Impact, you can't build anything against me.
Oh, they flashed for him. Yeah, they're going to be able to take him out. They want to at least relieve the pressure for now. They'll take 55 seconds inside.
Doesn't matter. Froggen top side of the map, 1-3-1 with a Baron. A Froggen.
So many things on their plate right now. Cloud9 can't react to all of them, and if they can, they can't take the power that Fox has now surmounted in this game.
It's so interesting as well that Froggen, when the bans came through, the picks came through, they banned away the Zed, saying, we don't want you to play this against LeBlanc. That may be something that Jensen has up his sleeve against the LeBlanc pick. And then they picked the LeBlanc, knowing that Jensen could pick whatever he wanted, and he chose the Cassiopeia at that point, which can't answer the split push. And the early game did go in the favor of Froggen. And you can see the late game, it just kind of continues that, where Froggen doesn't have to fight Cloud9 as a team. He just has to split push and try to end the game that way.
Brings me back to the compositions where you would run something like the LeBlanc and then the Caitlyn. And they still do it with the Caitlyn, but you just ace in the hole the squishiest person every time, hit him with the LeBlanc every time, and they're forced to fight with 50% HP. That's what a lot of the C9 members are dealing with Froggen running around here, just on his own abilities.
Yeah.
And the harassment he's causing.
And it's such a hard champion to deal with Banshee's Veil on top of it. Like LeBlanc, even in the first place as a split push with Teleport and the Gunblade, you can't really kill her in sustained trades because she'll just get back up to full HP using the heal of the Gunblade. It's hard to catch her and burst her out. Even if you do catch her, you have to deal with Banshee's Veil. And then another thing that kind of factors into the split push is the teleport, and then on top of that, her ultimate. The way that her ultimate works is where you'll just summon the clone.
Right.
He's been summoning the clone in Fog of War to check for wards and check for people pathing towards him when he's split pushing. So he kind of gets that extra blue trinket for a bit.
Right here.
He wants to chunk out Sneaky. And there he goes, throwing everything into him.
There's the heal, there's the cleanse off. Still is able to shut him down with the spell reel, and Froggen has more. The blue buff is on, so he can start to play with impact.
I mean, he still has Banshee's Veil on. A flash at the end there, make sure he doesn't take anything. And he's just buying time for his team. Froggen is just 1v4 in the mid lane.
Fantastic job in the LeBlanc. Being the person that Cloud9 always has to look out for, no matter where you are on the map.
They're trying to get to Looper on the bottom side here.
They start routing through Gate.
Keep it separated.
Fox and Grig, or sorry, Gate and Grig going through the Nexus. You got to get there somehow, boys.
Yeah, it looks like Keith off on the side blew his flash and then also blew his Featherstorm to avoid the explosive cask of Impact, who was trying to knock him into the team, but he just bought precious seconds for his team to get that bottom inhibitor, and now both the bottom and top are down.
Causing the perfect chaos. Echo Fox is running around left and right.
And look at that damage per minute from Froggen. 745 so far in Summer. That's a disgusting number. You think about averages for people at the ends of splits, you're looking at stuff like maybe 400, 500, 600 for mid laners. Carry top laners will end up around, 500-ish, depending on how many games that they've played. Even our top laner right now, Someday, was at 490 and played a lot of the carries.
You wonder when this kind of result was going to happen for the team as well. They put a lot of resources into Frog, and Frog has been on many teams where it was a super team, Alliance, Elements, teams before this, and now here to Echo Fox, another team somewhat built around him, and it's starting to really come together after a few splits. They're finding the power, and they don't have to build him around him anymore, as we've seen already in the game.
And he's super clever about this too. And I've talked to Frog in a whole bunch about his legacy and his career. The guy has got missed playoffs for almost 6 splits in a row now, with 7th places, 8th places, and he's just trying to change that around here. Look at how much damage that did. That almost went completely through the Seraph's Embrace of Jensen. But yeah, Froggen also, one of his least favorite memes, I guess the one that he hates the most about his picks, or at least the way that he plays, is when Froggen gets called a passive mid laner. Because he feels like he's always trading in lane, trying to get advantages in CS, and he doesn't really want to be known as a passive mid laner. Sure, he's known for Anivia, and people are like, oh, you late game scale, but he doesn't consider himself a passive mid laner. And we definitely are seeing that he is not a passive player when he's playing in the side lane. This is probably the most active we've seen Froggen in his career.
Well, we'll see him keep making moves here.
He doesn't care. He's going 2v3, 2v2.
Well, he's got the J-skate right behind him as well for a little bit of speed in and out. These guys are making such a combination on the bot side.
And they both have teleport as well, so they can continue to push this. This Baron, though, I feel like this is really risky. I don't feel like you actually want to have to teleport into this. You want to disengage, clear the wards out, wait for your bottom lane to actually get somewhere. Got the Banshee's Veil and backed up.
Smoothie alerting Looper to an engage here from Sneaky on the side. They're going to try to hit up Froggen inside the base. He goes right back. He's going to go down in this one. They're getting a little ahead of themselves now.
And they're going to start up the Baron. It's only Contracts here.
Word.
Looper on the side. Gate's going to try to keep him out. This is the moment right here that could get C9 back in, or Echo Fox way ahead.
All right, so they get Contracts out. They have the Baron. They need to get themselves out now. Here comes the teleport in from Impact to try and lock down the last 2 members that could be possible kills. Not having Looper for about 55 seconds would be big for the split push, but the rest of the team has Baron, and they may be able to get to him. Is this going to be a deja vu situation? Almost a kill on a Contract. They're able to lock him up. The CC is the
He got him!
Still gets the kill. You got to kill him first. He gets the retribution kill for himself. And the team's not going to be able to make moves with Baron around the map, but they have to wait 50 seconds.
Man, Looper's Flame Horizon impacting the top lane. They've been picking on him 2 levels up already. And man, there's no Looper's bloopers this game, man. He is making the other team have bloopers. 4v1 and he still comes out with a kill, almost 2. And they exhausted him. That is value. That is high value.
What else, Cyrene?
That is high value. That's what I'm going to say about that.
Holy moly.
But we saw Looper play things like the AD Kennen split push, and he was 0-2 and like not off to a great start. Then the team wasn't giving him resources. Froggen now hanging out, chilling with him in the side lane. They split up. They don't even go the same way to keep Looper alive. That he TPs in to help get rid of Contracts on that Baron and allow it to be a really high probability play for Echo Fox to come out on top. And now they only have 1 more inhibitor to push. Jace just came back up. C9 trying to take a numbers advantage fight.
Sejuani ultimate was used. Greg going low, going down. Looper coming out of the base. Death's Dance just finished as well, so a bit more power coming from him.
There's no smite available. That was huge. They caught Grig, and the fact that Echo Fox overstayed for that turret was bad. Froggen, though, may look to try and end the game here, going for the split push on the bottom.
1 shock blast over the wall could do it.
I don't think so. They've got 3 elemental drakes plus that.
2 super minions alone will take down a Nexus turret. Froggen with them should be able to drop 1. He is going to have Impact there in just a second, so that turret should be able to fall here.
Wants to kill that turret with the minions. Trying to keep it away. Keep it away. No turret. It's on him. Up.
Impact. Oh,
my
the day.
God.
What?
That was big that Froggen didn't have the Baron buff because he was one of the people that died.
Now that's a very good point.
Can't be engaged in a 5-on-5 for a good while here. And there's only a minute left on that Baron buff.
How far are they going to chase here? They want to keep Froggen at bay. No, Impact looks like he's just going to farm the wave. Looper joining to the top side. Now, I feel like Fox is starting to break that momentum they had a little bit. They're gathering a bit too much, and C9's able to organize the fights they want around that ball.
It was just an overstay in that mid lane because they got collapsed on and engaged on. Froggen missing the chain there, but gonna mimic it. Looking for impact.
If Looper gets there should be a kill. He could go back into the form, get the kill. It's the Froggen, actually. Here's the back from Sneaky. The team needs to get there. It's going to be a push in the mid lane from Grig here to get some more support on that wave.
Yeah, but it's too far back to the point that it's not going to threaten a turret. But C9 picking off impact is big. It gives them a respite for 45 seconds on impact. Their Baron will wear off shortly, but it's what they need. Because the reason that Cloud9 took that last fight was they knew they had a numbers advantage. Because Looper didn't have TP, and he had just spawned. And Grig too far forward. Grig's actually been pretty interesting this game. Hasn't helped out a huge amount in the early game. It was funny because he went for the Skirmisher Saber, and then he's like, you know what? We don't have enough wards. You saw how C9 was crushing them in the Vision game early. Sightstone comes up for him. Ah.
They have the Vision. He's using it.
True.
Not going to waste. They're going to have a little bit of pressure on the bot side here. These wards will help clear across the short side of C9's jungle, and they might be able to get one pick. That becomes a lot harder, as you see, obviously, Jensen, Seraph's Embrace, Banshee's Veil. These guys still have a little bit of Elder to work with.
And you can never really count Sneaky with this much gold and this much of an advantage over his lane opponent, almost 100 up over him, out of the game, as well as Jensen. Jensen is somebody that you look at his KDA, he's still sitting at 4. The guy's got very high KP, but also the thing I really like about watching, like looking at Jensen's stats, is that so far, the most deaths he's had in a game is 4, and even in that game, he went 4-4 and 3. Even in the losses, he's got score lines like 5-3 and 2, 3-3 and 5, 4-2 and 2. So right now, they may be potentially looking down the barrel of a loss, but he's 2-0 and 6 right now with 10 stacks on his Dark Seal. Right. Full build at the moment, except for whatever he's going to sell that Dark Seal for or go for him Jais. Could be a death cap that comes through or something along those lines, but really, Jensen is just somebody who's consistent in the mid lane.
True.
But when they lose, it doesn't seem like they're losing because of Jensen giving up kills or anything like that. So you can't really count him out.
He's even versus Fox there, pretty high KDA for himself in general.
Yeah, that was
again, it's right there, 8 for the game.
Yeah, that was a 7.6 KDA all-time NALCS career for Jensen. The guy just does not die.
15-9, Impact Teleport coming in. He does have
the map still.
He can jump right out of this.
Yeah, but Looper's going to push the bottom side, go for that inhibitor. We'll see if Froggen answers on the top side in the same moment, because now they're trying to run this 5-man composition across the map and not get caught in the meantime.
Oh, now here comes the 1-3-1. They finally file out. This is huge because we just said maybe Fox is going to start splitting what they were doing. They're balling up now and giving C9 fights, and they go back to the strategy. Yeah,
when I talk about the compositions against each other and why it's so interesting, the 1-3-1 will pull apart the 5-man death ball composition.
Always.
But if the death ball can land an ability that starts the fight guaranteed or catches one of those people, they may lose something on the other side of the map. And they're at the critical point where both LeBlanc and Jace can push down incredibly fast, and they're running out of turrets on the map on Cloud9's side. So you really have to play these correctly. If your engage doesn't stick and you go for it, then it could be a loss for you. You can see Looper, oh my god, outplaying there with the walk forward. And he's buying time.
And the minions.
And here comes Jensen too. As soon as they see Jensen here, they're going to start pushing. They're going to start going for something. 2 people answered on the bottom side of the map. This gives you a numbers advantage, 4v3 on the top side. Gonna force that inhibitor.
And they're going for top, just to give you an idea of how long it's been. The Nexus turret has healed to half now as Fox is back in the base. And Luber is heading back for that bot side.
Yep, it's the teeter-totter. It's the back and forth. As 5 people appear on the top side, and it would be numbers advantage for C9 as a 5v4. Looper pushes out the bottom to try and get somebody to answer him shortly. It looks like last cone over, start up the Baron. Froggen's gonna run defense.
They gotta choose one or the other. They know that he can fight impact. They know he's close.
Contracts though?
He's got the wave.
Yeah, Looper can do this.
This is great because Fox pulls C9 away from the base. There's a clean 1v1 for Looper in there.
Yeah, Looper can just keep dealing damage to impact. He gets to the point where, hey, he might take that inhibitor turret, And this Baron, you just toy with it. This is Echo Fox's macro being tested. Their decisions here. C9, they say, we got 2 Infernals and a Mountain Drake. It's our Baron. They're going to try for it. Froggen going in.
It also folds into the fact that C9 wants that balled up fight. They got to watch for Jensen's Petrifying Gaze. The Baron goes to Sneaky, and it's going to be Smoothie possibly going down right at the beginning of the fight. He keeps himself alive, and the damage is on to Keith now. They're focusing back. Gate keeps him alive.
Oh, he can't go back.
Froggen stays safe as well. I'm not sure how everybody just got out of that one alive with such low health bars. But remember, inside the base is still a fight between Impact and Looper as everybody's limping away from the Baron.
Looper wants that turret. And W's going to get it for him. Everybody limping away. Will they get caught? It's very fast recalls. Oh, got Sneaky.
Lands on a Sneaky. Great Dark Passage, almost saving him enough. He gets healed up to full
HP. That's Froggen coming through. He's got home guard.
Forward to home guard again. That's going to be Smoothie. If Looper actually has the base if he wants it, he's backing up to grab mid so they can go down to more. If this does not work towards the top turret, 59 seconds on Sneaky is the longest one, and he's also down with Smoothie.
Exactly, looking for whatever they can here. Echo Fox have the potential, if they get one more kill, to possibly close this out, or at least pull Cloud9 away from the base. 45 seconds on Sneaky, big carry down. And now you have guaranteed numbers advantage topside, but you do have to push through these Baron buffed up minions as Looper's going to walk a wave into this turret, this last remaining turret on that Nexus.
Was a split call for a second. Looper was leaving that lane, but instantly took back to it as the team hit topside. And now they have 20 seconds left on Sneaky and Smoothie. A lot of damage and crowd control that can stop this Nexus from going down, and Fox looks to stay.
15 on Sneaky now. And Keith walking through the turret because he has to get out.
If they don't win this fight, mid lane is going to be the rundown for C9.
Yeah, it's a big minion wave on their turret there.
They're pinging on it. It actually is enough respect for Fox to say, we need to back up. We could lose that turret in the first place, and the fight would be even worse.
Yeah, I feel like those caster minions may actually be able to take it down. There's so many of them. Keith's going to have to clear them out with the Runeance Hurricane, and it makes quick work of them. But yes, when they set up that Baron, something I do want to point out is Looper went for the teleport pretty much right next to Impact. And Impact just interrupted it and guaranteed that they had
good eye on
at least equal numbers on that Baron. So that was kind of the play there from Looper that was a little questionable, but he does end up with, they don't end up with a Baron, but they do end up with that bottom inhib. And that turret, which he ended up getting.
A little bit of defense for C9. Minions in their favor now. As Sneaky and Smoothie went down, they will not have that. I believe it's just Jensen? Jensen and Impact have the Baron right now. And Contracts. I knew there was one more. Gate and the rest of the team taking over the Elder Drake area. A minute and a half until this comes into play. And they can't let it go to C9 with another 3 Drakes at this point. They're starting to be able to defend their base, and inhibitors will be up soon enough.
And looking at this build from Grig, there's a few things like...
How you feeling?
Just going to say one thing really quickly is don't like the Ruby Sightstone plus the Skirmisher Saber. Give him a little more wards, but people are grouping up a lot now, etc. Instead, I would say Tracker's Knife plus Gargoyle Stoneplate. Even though Tracker's Knife Smite on somebody reduces the damage they deal to you, Gargoyle Stoneplate treated as 50% damage reduction for the duration against everybody.
I mean, at this point,
And he has a Warmog, so having more armor and MR is worth even more. So I would definitely say it would be a worth item at this point in switching it around. But they're very highly valuing that vision because of the fact that they have a 1-3-1. So if he's utilizing it correctly, this could be the optimal build for the way that they're playing. But in terms of just stats and performance, etc., there is a slightly better way to optimize the build, because I don't see him using that Skirmisher Saber very often.
You see Jensen and Froggen here in the top lane. Was that right? Yeah. Jensen with 998 ability power to Froggen's 507.
Yep, and Froggen.
Jensen is huge, but he hasn't had the chance to stand in a fight and deliver that damage yet.
I mean, he's 100 CS up right now over Froggen. Froggen has been splitting sideways the whole time, so you expect him to pick up some CS.
Yeah.
But right now, this Elder Dragon is just going to get destroyed. I don't even feel like Contracts makes it in time, and he doesn't have flash. So yeah, Elder Dragon down. Cloud9, though, I wouldn't say they're completely up against the ropes because of the fact that they have a late game scaling Cassiopeia, and it's only a 1 elemental Drake Elder Dragon, but I would say be a little bit scared because it is an Elder Dragon.
It's mean, it's old, it's scary.
This middle turret, though, has kind of been plaguing Echo Fox. It's funny because they got all of those outer turrets first, and then the middle tier 1 was one that took them so long to get. Right now, though, C9 kind of playing with vision, trying to look for a pick, look for a way to start a fight.
Contract sweeper just coming up. Almost hatching that ward. Looking to blow the Banshee's Veil into Frog, and it's enough for them right now. Well, happy not to see that.
Yeah, like you said, Jensen, 900 plus AP at the moment. There's 998. And I don't think he doesn't have an Elixir of Sorcery on. Jensen can get above 1,000 AP.
Just Gate taking the initiation. He's putting himself up front. Mid's being cleared. Looper's easily going to be able to just tick this inhibitor down. And C9, they're going to have to keep watching this happen as top lane is getting pushed in. Froggen's going to take that control towards Impact. And now it's about the fight. It's how C9 takes it. But Fox, great to them for being able to avoid so many fights. I don't know about this one, though.
Impact?
They could be forced in.
Oh, Looper caught out. They finally got an engage on him, but he does take down Contracts, and he has GA.
On the Contracts, has his number over and over again. Even if C9 is trying to fight, Fox comes right back around for the batting order once again. 49 minutes coming up on the clock. And it looks like the last Nexus turret. One more from Froggen as he distorts into auto. This has to be making C9 pull their hair out at the end of the game here. They have another one, and they definitely will want to get back at Fox if this one goes their way.
Jensen buys the Elixir, 1,073 AP, but it might not be enough here.
Last engage, Impact goes in, trying to go for broke for the team. It was a hit on that death sentence from Smoothie, but they weren't able to lock down Gate for the kill. It's just how it keeps happening as they're so far ahead. Fox is able to inch out every time with such low health.
Jensen looking for the stun, he
Great
might kill him!
petrified gaze, there's the damage! Able to deliver, how does Fox answer now without the mid laner? Without all that power, Keith can still deliver a bit. Looper's been on the top side being a menace. Now he goes down. And Fox overstay their strategy a little too long.
They were playing it so safe for so long, just kind of skirting in, looking for those auto attacks on the turret, back and forth. And then they just go for this play where he tries to jump on Jensen, this Cassiopeia that has just been so farmed, full build. Froggen, for context, not even full build himself, very close to having it.
He got it. 1,073 ability power.
Yes, picked up the Elixir of Sorcery. And looking for that back door. They went for the Baron there. Sneaky left to just guard against this.
What can you do? Chain of Corruption. It goes out. Looks like it wasn't able to do too much.
Keep it the focus.
The whole team is back.
AD.
It's down to half.
They did it.
They absolutely wipe Fox off the map.
They abandoned the Baron.
What a choice.
To save their base. 100% correct call there. And then they reset 50-second plus death timers on 3 members of Echo Fox.
Zyrene, what's happening?
Game's not over, really.
Game is not over.
The teams are playing well, but now they're playing into each other's hands, especially Echo Fox. They were kind of making Cloud9 flail around, and now Cloud9 have control. It's like I said right before, that even when that Elder Dragon went over to Echo Fox, that Cloud9 don't completely have their backs against the wall.
No. See Greg giving himself a quick pat down, relax. Everybody needs to remember, still just a game, but right now these guys have pushed each other to the limits in this game. We'll see again in this fight, Sneaky doing everything he can until the team gets there.
Oh, missed Cocoon there onto Sneaky. Does have the QSS though, so it may have been, a moot point anyway. And then everybody had recalled immediately. You're expecting that if they had Baron empowered recalls. That's
yeah.
That's an unlucky. But wait, Froggo going for the back door. He's trying to 1v9, literally.
All right, where's the team? Oh, they're at the base. Jensen's trying to take the fight. Contracts is there. The autos from Froggen are coming in, but he hits the Resonator and Sonic Wave for Resonating Strike. Beautiful hit. That causes Froggen to have to leave. It's also Sneaky hitting the arrow, and the fight down on the left side of the screen, resulting in C9 being very low. Looper's trying to get into the middle of the fight now in hammer mode. He's got to go all in. One more hit from Impact with the body slam. The cleanse out from Keith. Can he get the kills in on Impact? Body slams away. Another one from Smoothie. Gets the double kill for himself in the shutdown. Impact limps away once again. Contracts towards the top side, and the base is swarmed on the side C9.
This is not the Keith that we were seeing, and that was being heavily memed by the community.
Woo!
He went back and he had a sound on tape where he was talking about he got his confidence back. He just went at the end of spring hey, I know how to play this game. Just go back to playing your game. And he's not on that Ashe. He's on the Xayah. He's on something that has the potential to carry a little bit here in that late game. Not just there for the arrow.
The toucan is flying high, Zyrene.
This is back and forth. This is insane. This literally comes down to execution between the two teams. Gate, I mean, your support. I was, buddy, I know it's low. Sneaky's on the other side of him, though.
Oh, my word. What? No. The other side of the map, having to ult out, a lot of pressure here on the Gate. This is Fox just holding off.
So it looks dumb, but what he was doing is he's giving Froggen a TP location when he comes up to potentially end the game, but the inhibitor respawned.
Just keeping all the options out there.
Exactly. They didn't have any forward wards, so he places one down there to make sure that they have at least something.
What an amazing game. Just taking stock of the CS. 583. Sneaky building up. What do you got?
Smoothie and Jensen with their sweepers. You can see 5 sweepers. They want nothing to do with these TP plays. Cloud9 are like, nope, not today. 5 sweepers. They're sweeping everything. They got rid of Gates wards. They said Sejuani was over here. Nothing in this area.
This is huge because that means Smoothie has 3 for a slot, right? That's an item that Smoothie's not going to be having right now because he needs to be able to place those where the sweepers aren't working.
Yeah, he's the control wards in the wards.
Yep.
For pretty much the whole team.
Oh, man.
The inhibitors are up.
Where are you guys going?
Now, the question is.
Pings, pings. Crowd is so into this. It's like a Mission Impossible.
I mean, it's so close. This comes down. Ah, they say split.
Ooh, just on the backside of Froggen.
He's TPing to the other side.
Yeah, down to the bot, down to push bot lane. And then Froggen made sure he engaged Impact so he could not get over to Looper. Everything happening on a knife's edge right now, and it could go either way.
Yeah, the 1-3-1 comp wants to split up this death ball. Damage in this game, sneaky.
In one fight? No, I'm just kidding. So
quite.
across the entire game, 45,000 already for Sneaky. 5 minutes until we hit an hour long here.
The ward's being placed down by Looper. He has those split push wards. You can see Smoothie on top of it. Smoothie saying, there's something over here. We know it. Everybody, this is like Minesweeper. We're no longer playing League of Legends.
But this comes down to exactly what the analyst desk was talking about too with Echo Fox is you have this team that has always grabbed leads and then finds a huge blocker at the end of the game. Even if they're in the base with Nexus turrets down, that Nexus does not fall for Echo Fox.
Yeah, it hasn't fallen, and Cloud9's hasn't fallen either. And right now, longest game of summer 2017 so far.
That's right.
Over 55 minutes. It has been a nail-biter. Cloud9 have not had control of this game for a very long time. In the early game, it was pretty much Echo Fox the whole time ever since, you know, they got that little lead. Good Baron calls, good Baron baits.
Kind of like 23 minutes, you'd say?
Yeah, it was around that. So, take you back
23 minutes
half of this game ago.
30 to say. So over 100,000 gold on each side. Smoothie coming up big with the lanterns to allow Sneaky a little forward ward and farming.
Like how Sneaky got rid of his boots, says that Smoothie will take care of me. Purchased himself a Phantom Dancer for some extra survivability.
Hasn't been able to use it just yet.
No, not.
He has stayed alive, but it will try to keep him alive.
Yeah.
Knight's Vow as well being purchased up. We've seen that on Gate for quite a while. Impact now having one. As he puts that onto Sneaky. You can see where that's directed to underneath this champion. And the mid lane is going to be pressured here. It's the last one. They'll get the minions to the turret and try to spread out through the jungle.
Yeah, small window here of about 45 seconds where the Elder Dragon and the Baron are desynced. So you can pick up one and then the other. And Echo Fox, this is the thing, is Echo Fox are making Cloud9 defend multiple points. Defend top side. You don't have to be at that dragon. And that's exactly what Looper and Froggen are doing, are making sure that somebody has to be up here. They may be able to kill Impact here if they go for the engage. Look for it. But Jensen's over in the area, off on the side. Sees him, keeps the chain.
One lockdown, two lockdown. The cast misses. to the skies didn't do full damage. They may be able to hit impact here. He keeps using his
Jensen's
ability
there.
to get the regen on the HP. A few more shots.
He got the
That's going to
stun.
be the Guardian Angel. Jensen comes up huge in the last second. His impact stays alive long enough. And now the hooks come through. Looper trying to go for the kill still as he knows he's going down, but he has to go down valiantly. And he does it without a kill. The team is going to get Elder Dragon. It's always one for something now. But that stalls out the game still. They have to be careful without Looper.
Yeah, right now, Echo Fox are saying we go for the bottom side of the map here. Baron just came up. Contract sneaky on it. Will they take it fast enough to get the empowered recalls in time? I feel like they will. They do so much damage to this thing.
Absolutely, a fight for Baron. Sneaky's huge right now. This isn't the poke.
That's
Varus.
the TP
This
from
is
Froggen as well.
Auto Varus.
They're going for broke. They say it doesn't matter that's 4v5. They're trying to start this up.
And they have the indicator, though, when Baron goes down. A 4-second back on home guards for Cloud9 as they come sprinting off the base. Good ultimate from Gate on the way back. Gives Keith and the rest of the team a little breathing room.
TP to the other side.
Froggen will stay out to try and be a nuisance, but what can he do now with all these inhibitors up?
I don't feel like they saw Impact there. Impact was CPing in the middle of the lane, and I don't think they had vision anywhere near him.
Oh, it hit.
Landed on Keith. He's throwing in. He got it.
Oh, he kicks back. Keith flashes as soon as he can with the cleanse on the other side. Smoothie comes in, flays back both members, and that's going to be Keith going down immediately. This is Fox dropping. Gate has to go to the opposite side of the map. Froggen is buying time to find a kill that will also slow down the play.
Froggen is just chilling on the side.
He's looking
like, don't bring him to me, boy. Get out of here.
Contracts, 1 kill.
They're going to check this.
I don't know if it's going to happen. They see him already through the sweeper.
Grig, other side of the map,
Grig's
trying to
going
run
to the
in.
Nexus turret. With that being down, now they are just playing ring around the rosy with C9. At least they can pull him off of what happens to Froggen now. It's always a last-second effort to be saving members across the map for Fox right now.
Exactly.
Holy moly.
Grig, though, this might not be him getting out of this. Smoothie has mobility boots.
It's not over, Zyrene. Yes, it is.
It's not. Wait, top side.
Oh, it may not be over.
It's not just Snacky, though. Jensen's here, too. 2 carries on the top side, and I feel like Froggen.
He's so patient.
No, you got to walk in. This is... Shh.
He's got the
Nobody's back in base.
Farseer's orb, so he can get a ward in. He's going to
gonna
walk
get
over.
Spotted now.
Over this.
Spotted now. Who's got the back?
Ping
Somebody
goes down.
got the back.
1, 2, 3.
3.
Sneaking in the rest
They
of
have
the
Baron
team,
empowered.
the damage they can. Yeah, Baron empowered is actually huge on that. He distorts out, and again, haha! Except they lost an inhibitor turret. So if this keeps going in C9's favor for these little cat and mouse games, Fox is not going to be better off.
Contracts doesn't choose the right way, but Froggen is going to walk right into him.
E to the face.
Into the
into the hook, into the ping pong, into the... Wow, that didn't feel good for Froggen. 75 seconds, and he is back up. But C9 runs the map now.
Hour-long game. So far, Froggen goes down for another minute. Grig caught out 2. TP to the bottom side. Looper.
This guy, Impact, staving off what a tough game he's had in each lane he's been in with Looper and Froggen on him. Now still coming up to make plays at 0-5 and 12. As a giant Gragas tank. C9 makes the way into Fox's base, and it does not look good for Fox.
Nope.
65 seconds for Grig. Froggen at 45 seconds. Looper doing what he can on the other side of the map in a 2v1 situation. In a 2v3 situation is what Fox has to deal with inside the base. The Nexus turrets are falling in favor of Cloud9 now. The turret hitting over. Keith has to use the ultimate. Gets kicked back. Keith goes down. Gates doing what he can to provide the last bit of solace for the Nexus, but Cloud9 with their backs against the wall say, get off my lawn. They take the game into their control. They head down mid, and they're going to be able to drop the Nexus for game 1, 61 minutes long.
An insane game that Echo Fox looked like they were going to be able to win, but C9 are resolute, and they come up with game 1. That game was sick. Woo! I love it. The 5 sweepers from Cloud9, insane. Grig, 0-8 and 5 at the end, but oh man, this was a game that literally, there's so many factors in here that went in. You think about how everybody went to sweepers, their wards, every single ward mattered. They only have 6 to place, and they kept placing them in the routes that were taken by Echo Fox. They could see them come back. That was crazy. Smoothie's warding was brilliant. And on top of that, contracts. Mechanically at the end, getting the kickback onto Keith was huge. And the way he did it as well, there's a little bit of a hidden Lee Sin mechanic in there that he is actually able to pull off in those moments.
Tell us.
Well, we may be able to see soon.
Yeah, we may be able to see. We all get that last kill onto Froggen, which really started to turn, started to turn this game around, was the catalyst for that rush down mid, for C9 to keep going. And what a hold off for them all game long, weathering the storm of Froggen and Looper being so far ahead within their lanes, and then being able to bring that elsewhere. Almost 25 minutes into the game is when that started.
Yeah, it was really, really just kind of in their favor the whole time, but then the split push got stopped. They were really just trying to close, and against C9, though, I say that this game is something that Echo Fox can actually kind of look at and be like, yeah, we actually did really well, and then they start playing into it. But look at this.
Here is this
kick. This kick on Froggen gets his E and then gets him back. But this isn't actually the kick I was talking about. The one at Elder Dragon is the one that I'm talking about. What Contracts did is Contracts landed the Q onto Keith, and then he ward hop took the Q. If you ward hop take the Q, it actually doesn't lock you out of the kick flash as long. So it's a super fast kick flash, and that's what Contracts was able to do mid-flight to get Keith kicked back previously, the one that got them near that Elder Dragon.
Primed much quicker. And in a fight,
it's only a few frames, too, but it made all the difference.
Which was pretty amazing is that Cloud9 was taking the right fights as well. They had a completely open base. So any wrong fight they took for about 30 minutes would have ended the game.
Yeah, and that's the thing is you kind of had to tiptoe those the entire time. But I feel like Froggen being so far ahead, you're looking at somebody who's sitting around with like 0 deaths, and now he's up to 4 because of so many desperation attempts. And this may have gotten too desperate for Echo Fox too soon. They probably could have actually just gone for maybe even some 5v5 fights, maybe even some 4v4 fights,
with
and
the power
have some
they
people off on the side. I feel like Echo Fox hit the panic button a little too soon, but the game just started to break down around them, and Cloud9 just played really smart. I want to say, like, those sweeper changes, the way that Smoothie was warding and sweeping, like, they were able to sniff out everything that Echo Fox were trying to do. It was great.
The sweepers was a big thing, playing smart, stopping those teleports. For more on that back and forth, game 1, let's check in with our analysts.
Thank you very much, Riv. What a game. What a doozy. Oh, my. Oh, my. All right.
Yeah,
so
Zyra called it sick.
Yeah,
like it made you sick watching it. You were kind of like, I need to find a bathroom.
Sick wards, sick gameplay, and some.
Look, like, obviously there were mistakes. It was a super entertaining game. I'm happy I got to watch it.
Yeah.
It was
crazy.
entertaining, and some really cool things come out that you almost never see in a game of League of Legends. There's a lot to cover. I do actually want to start with the game when it began more normally, when there was like a normal game of League of Legends where there's pressure top lane, you had a Jace versus tank matchup, and stuff going off, kind of everywhere.
Yeah, it's kind of the complete opposite in terms of comps. You have a 1-3-1 and a standard team fight. C9 put a lot of resources in early to the top side to try and shut down that 1-3-1 potential from snowballing, get onto Looper, the Jace pick. If it falls behind the Gragas, it can be kind of hard to get it snowballing. Unfortunately, a lot of their attempts didn't yield the result that they needed. Here, the 1-for-1 actually is huge for the Jace.
And this is kind of a pattern of the game. Looper would be able to pick up kills in a 1v2. This was actually just a sick play by Impact and Contracts. The knockback into knockback while his flash was up and having no chance of getting away from it was pretty awesome. And this kind of set the table for the rest of the game. And these are things that hopefully they retro a little bit in between games, because you can get that type of lead again and then actually close out, but you need to be able to make sure you can recreate those events.
To be fair, Froggen and the rest of Echo Fox understood that they were targeting the top side and made some roams up themselves up there, so they were able to take the turret top wall, so getting a kill, and then they started trading turrets a lot back and forth over the course of the mid game. And once the map opened up, you could see it was kind of favoring that 1-3-1, obviously, with the fact that Echo Fox started getting leads.
Right, Looper was starting to do really well. Again, as you mentioned, first turret was in the top lane himself. We have another clip, which is Looper actually in a 1v2, getting his own solo kill, then Froggen cleaned the other. It's really amazing.
This is off the back of the fact that their 1-3-1 did eventually come online here, and Impact starting to get poked low. Looper's switching targets from the turrets, and him gets hit by the ultimate and actually eats a lot of the damage, but the Contracts is too far away, so by the time he gets there, Impact's almost already dead. Nice flash out here, and then he's kiting Contracts, so he just needs to land another Q to be able to get the kill, but not quite off cooldown.
The angle on the acceleration gate was pretty brilliant too, because it's going to give him more move speed on the way out. It also uses it to help dodge the Sonic Wave. So this actually was the play that set up us thinking that Echo Fox was going to win 40 minutes into the game, because that was a 26-minute play where they killed one in the 1v2. They took Baron off, they got a lot of advantage, but they just couldn't close.
Yeah, and the 1-3-1, you thought it was going to work, and it didn't.
Yeah, and that's the sad thing was they had double inhibs down at one point in the top and bot lane. They got a Baron soon after that, and they just kept getting picked off at different times. And then when they did draw pressure correctly, the other side wouldn't quite work. There was another sequence where Looper kited out both Impact and Jensen all the way down to the bot outer turret of C9, and the top side couldn't get the inhib 3v or 4v3. It was without the solo laners.
Kept walking bot and then
he got the next inhib by himself. So Looper had a monster performance.
Yeah, he did. So then we can sort of talk about as it came back for Cloud9, the Echo Fox mistakes were coming through, and it felt like, okay, Cloud9 is starting to be able to win team fights, starting to get more out. Our next replay is a Baron attempt here, 42 minutes into the one, and C9, starting to get their things back in order.
They kept getting the Barons, which helped them stall out these games, and eventually, this one was really close to being really bad. They're trapped in the pit versus a Xayah, which is extremely dangerous. Froggen's on the backside threatening to hop in on people, but they're able to play well. Sneaky walks forward into the clump, forcing them back, and then when Froggen goes in, he kind of gets grounded, forced to flash out as he finds the back corner to get out of there.
Yeah, the extension of this play, though, did find Echo Fox getting 2 kills, one of them onto Sneaky, who was the main defender, and I think Looper actually finishes this turret. So this is another situation where, like, yes, C9 did this to extend the game and keep the items scaling on the Cassiopeia, but getting these picks onto Sneaky and Smoothly, thanks to the teleport that's about to come in onto Froggen, since he has home guards and the hook wasn't waiting for him in time, he just zooms forward, and they're able to get the CC with the thanks of Gate. Like, this is actually another play that probably should have ended the game. There's one Nexus turret up, and you are in a clean 3v5, but it was just another example of them not being able to close.
Yeah, you can see that gold graph right there, right? Like, it's a 5v3. You just got a minute-long death timer. This game should end in some of these cases. There's so many options that could have happened, and it never really did.
And I think you have to look at the fact that they didn't play aggressive enough at the right times. There was another situation where Jensen was able to solo out Froggen, but that left a 4v2 on the other side near the Nexus, and they could have all went for it. Looper's the only one who recognized they could have won the game there. The rest of the team was backing out, and then they re-engage. They just need to get all on the same page, which is something that the team struggled with. Traditionally, this has always been one of Echo Fox's weaknesses, is late game shot calling.
Yeah, and as an Echo Fox team, you need to be able to kind of separate the good and the bad in that game. Re-emphasize the good, which was getting the 1-3-1 going in the first place, getting the picks, and just taking that next step, because they have a lot to build on in this. They should have won this game over C9.
Yeah, so let's talk about the very end game we were into, where it's all about work and everything else. It leads me to saying our play of the game was Smoothie here. Certainly a lot could be considered in all cases, but at the end of the day, when it was 45 minutes onwards, it was all about, can they control the vision? Can Cloud9 control Echo Fox? Can they keep the flanks from coming through? Can the important hooks come in? So Smoothie gets that for the vision control. The 5 sweeper goal, whoever's that was very smart as well. The control wards. There's a point where he walks back to base, buys 3 control wards, just dots them through the base one after the other, and gets some more, and keeps doing that to make sure there's no TP flank wards. And so that was a game-saving mistake. It is so hard to play with an open Nexus.
Yeah, and it's really hard to pick a player of the game in matches where the enemy team is winning for most of it, because there's a lot of different things that kept C9 in the game, whether it was Jensen getting a bunch of kills and getting super fit on Cassio, Sneaky doing well on Varus, but the control wards and the vision control were also incredibly crucial.
Yeah, so very tight game. Game 1 does go to Cloud9. Echo Fox might find themselves in a defeat on the week, but now we're going to step away for a quick break. But when we come back, it's time for Game 2 between Cloud9 and Echo Fox. Stay with us. You're watching the North American LCS.